Hey, Yuma Clinical Trials, welcome back. We're with David at Desert Mirage Farms. You're going to be seeing all the shots right now as we talk because we're going to sit down for about 15 minutes or so just discussing. This is actually part two. It's the first time we've featured someone twice on our show because that first one, man, that was me just doing it with my camera. Disproportionately viral, like unbelievable. And the more I meet you and talk to you, the more I'm not surprised by that. This is an amazing guy. Everybody needs to go connect. Their Instagram is underneath. Before we get into it, we are Yuma Clinical Trials. We've got studies for obesity, arthritis, eczema, weight loss, heart disease, chronic kidney disease, all kinds of stuff. Just text us. This is our coordinator, Lana Stevens, at
760-919-2515.
Thank you, Lana. And then we're also here. So she's our coordinator. We're here with Dr. Joe Elid. He is one of our investigators, as well as a physician at Up to Par. And like I said, we're back. We had to do it. Part two with David. We have to give justice to what you've created here, what you're empowering people to do to take control over their diets, just like you took control over your health. Shameless plug, we're going to do a full hour-long thing with David on Dr. Joe's show.
That's right.
How you reversed multiple morbidities. And now you're teaching all of Yuma how to do it too. Very graciously, we saw one of your clients coming up. Thrilled with you. Let's get right into it. What are you doing? What are you helping people achieve in Yuma? And what do you want them to know about you, just as we start?
The main thing for me is the parallel between gut health and soil health, and how when we heal the soil and the food that we grow in, we can heal ourselves. And really that's what it comes down to, is the old cliche, down to earth, doesn't seem to be that much of a cliche anymore because we've lost that. So our goal here really is to bring people back to that, connecting back with the earth. There was a time where we had a desire so strong for food that we would jump into a river, we would hunt, we would gather, we would farm, and it would connect us with this earth. Now we can get our fix for $1. We can go anywhere and get our fix and not get nourished, just to fill the belly, and more of an addiction that's happened. And it's really to keep us coming back to food. And it started with the ice cream shop. I had Solano's homemade ice cream, and I was working on trying to become more sustainable, more local, more health driven. And what I found out was that the food didn't exist. So I figured I would take it into my own hands and start trying to grow it myself and raise animals myself. And that's where the real awakening came about, because I realized nobody was really producing the biological inputs to do true organic food. It was just more of an organic industry where we're trucking in like chicken manure and other inputs for the soil that weren't necessarily beneficial for the earth or for us. And so that's where I kind of went down this rabbit hole of trying to learn about the biology in soil and how to grow true living soil plants in living soil environments. And then that's when I realized that the exact same processes that happen in soil happen in our guts. The microbiome in our gut really calls the shots. It tells our brain, sends signals to our whole body. And when I started analyzing that, every culture in the world, from the core, your chakras, your chi, everything is centered around this part of the body, the biome. And that's when I really started trying to figure out why my sickness was happening. I started trying to change my diet, but not to an organic diet. I saw a news segment from the Yuma Farm Bureau once. They asked a question in the news, and they said, "What's the difference between organic and conventional?" And their answer was, "There is no difference. It's the same thing." And I bought into that. And so I started doing juicing, conventional foods that were not necessarily any better for me. I was just concentrating the pesticides and the chemicals in food. And I felt worse in the sense I was getting headaches. And I said, "No, this doesn't work." And then somebody suggested, "Try organics." And I go, "Why? It's smaller, and Farm Bureau says there is no difference." And so I started growing some of my food and consuming that and juicing that. And that's when I realized, like, everything. My nails started growing for the first time in my life. My hair started growing back, even changing color. My bones quit cracking. Everything I noticed this profound change happening in me. And that's when I said, there's no way anybody can convince me that there is no difference.
So what is the product that you provide to the community? I know you guys do like CBD, you do measurements for different chemicals, but what, like, is it fair to say it's pesticide-free soil? You're teaching people how to do this themselves. You're a supplier of it. You've got the earthworms doing their jobs. Like, is that the finished product?
So I realized that we have to heal the soil in order to heal the man. So what we do is we create biological prebiotics and probiotics for the soil and for the human gut. So we're going to be making like the kimchis, the sauerkrauts, the kombuchas, sourdough starters, anything that is microbially produced.
Did you say kimchi?
Kimchi, yep. Yeah. Anything, even pickles, all those things should be fermented with certain strains of
Put that in
bacteria.
Hawaiian barbecue.
Yeah.
We make our own. That's why my mom makes her own. My mom makes her own. So when you say kimchi, I say, huh?
Absolutely. Those fermented foods really that belong in our guts to help reestablish that biome, to get the microbiome back in line is really how I was able to start healing myself is by fixing the foods and focusing on the biology in my gut. It's been said that we have 10 times more microbes in our gut than we have cells in our body. So it's like, why are we not paying more attention?
And you're basically like a PhD level knowledge. Like, you teach at U of A, Department of Agriculture, or the Educational Agriculture Department, whatever they call it.
Yep, I do. For the Master Gardeners, I do the composting class. I do a lot of outreach. So if you call the Ag Extension Office and you say, I want solutions, but no chemical solutions, they'll usually call me, and I can go to your farm, your ranch, your home, and consult with you and figure out how to come up with these solutions. The last one was a fellow who was having root knot nematodes, and they were telling him spray this chemical and that chemical. And so he's like, no, I don't want chemicals. So they called me, and I went over there, and in one day, basically, we were able to fix that issue, and it was just a biological issue in the soil.
So Lana and Dr. Joe, as two Yuma locals, you got any questions for David? I'm so glad I got to introduce you guys to him too.
Me too. Today was really fun. I'll just say that folks should come and check out this place. There's so much to see.
It really makes you think twice too about what you're consuming. Now I'm like, dang, I really need to, think about what my body is consuming and what I'm putting into it. Not only when you hit a certain age, but at the same time, for the long road, that your health wise, just what I eat now, I know it's not good for me. And, just that realization, just coming out here and seeing that, the organic side of it, let alone like no chemicals, which is what we all consume on a daily basis. And it's eye-opening to know that, there's other alternatives. You just take the time.
And right here in your backyard too.
Right.
Absolutely. And there's the thing, we've evolved, right? Hunger stress, environmental stress. But one stress that is new to the human is the chemical stress. That's something we haven't evolved with.
It's like 100-year-old, maybe, if that.
If that, World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think about it like the chemicals we're being exposed to now for the entire life of our genome, and this is heavily debated. Is our genome 6,000 years old, or is it a few 100,000 years old? Whatever the answer is, only a fraction of that time has our genome been exposed to the chemicals that we're exposed to now. And the effects, are unpredictable, but they're not, right? Because it's estrogen imbalance, it's breast cancer on the rise, it's cardiovascular disease, it's men's testosterone plummeting, it's fertility rates going down.
All the stuff we mentioned at the beginning, what we're doing studies on.
Yeah. Now, I have a question. So just let's say somebody comes here and they have a fraction of an acre of land that's theirs, and they want to try to replicate what's going on here at their house. I mean, is that a possibility?
100% yes. We've been offered by several people to be exclusive and only do work for them. But our goal from the beginning was to become an outreach and education for the information and the knowledge that helped to heal me and people around me. So I realized that there is no job too small, even if you have a backyard with a few plants. As big as, obviously the bigger the acreage, the systems change from small to medium to large scale. So small, medium scales We would definitely like to work with schools as well on like their cafeteria programs, on composting their material and putting that in their gardens.
That would be amazing.
Those kinds of things. So yes, there is no job too small, whether it be a backyard, a quarter acre, an acre. Obviously, the bigger we get, the systems have to change.
Have schools reached out?
San Pasqual, Pecan Grove School, we're gonna be doing a talk there. And then there's the school across from the library also. They have their own garden there. So there's, and then Pueblo Elementary School did a field trip here as well. So there's, and we're not even advertised as completely open yet. We were going to join the Chamber of Commerce, but until we get the infrastructure completely done. So even with that, we've had a lot of people come by and try to talk. There's another clinic, the Fronteras, I think they're from, I don't remember their name.
Health.
Yeah, and they came and said that if I would be willing to do a talk to their patients, and I said absolutely. That's what we're here for, is to provide this kind of knowledge and education, and there is a lot of truth to this. So there is no job too small or too large. It's just being able to talk to the people and figure out what method works for them. But that's our main thing, is to provide that help.
When are you writing your book?
I guess the book, the story of my life, right, every day as it goes. I do journal a lot, I do write a lot, and those are things that really kind of help to keep my mind focused on what I'm doing and where I'm going.
Yeah, it's amazing. And as you guys can see from the B-roll that you're watching here, it's a full-on production. What were your guys' thoughts just seeing it?
It kind of felt like a combination of going to Disneyland and playing Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time for the first time.
It's a good comparison.
That's the closest I can come up with.
I mean, to me, being born and raised here, it really made me think twice on like our local restaurants. And, we talked about it earlier about, there isn't a place where, there's like from the farm, or like, hey, the salad you're eating is grown right next, or, just
farm to table.
Farm to table.
Yes. See, and to me, like, my business mind is, going off right now on so many different levels where, my ideas are just sporadic right now. And to me, like, to have that in Yuma, like, I feel like we're missing out because of it. And I feel like, even though like, we're so close to the border, and like, like people's taste and, their mindsets, are all pretty much the same here in Yuma. I feel like if we had the opportunity to like get the word out that, it's just, there's other stuff out there that's healthier, and have people to see the long run, like your health aspect of it. I feel like, it's an eye opener for me. Cause I mean, I've lived here all my life, and I've ate at just about every single restaurant here in Yuma, and nothing provides that kind of, nourishment, or, like from the farm onto the table. And like, to know like, oh, this tomato was just grown outside the door. Like, to have that, like, I mean, wow, just wow.
Do you think there's appetite in Yuma for that? You've met enough of the locals.
I mean, just by analyzing what the people's request was for the Sprouts, because I know it was a Trader Joe's for many years in the Yuma Sun, and I know the demographic was too small here, so many stores like that wouldn't come here. I believe it was like 150,000 or over, and we're at around 96,000, so that kind of drew people or those companies away. But because people were requesting it so much, now we have the Sprouts, and I mean, if you look at their charts, at their awards they win, they're always like the number one store.
We needed Trader Joe's. I've tried to work on that, and it backfired.
It's demographic, I guess. They don't take into account the winter visitors or the field workers in the wintertime, but just the population.
Everyone sees our summers, and they run scared because it's so excruciating. And how can you make it, or how do you live there? And to us, you just kind of deal with it, but other people don't see it that way.
I think that's an important point, folks. This is Yuma, Arizona, where we can get to close to 130 degrees Fahrenheit sometimes. And you're growing mango trees, some tropical trees, things that we have been told don't grow here. So one of the biggest things I learned today is that mainstream education has some growing up to do. And I'm talking to all of the colleges, all of the universities. You should be ashamed. Anyway.
Well, the thing is, to be real, they're funded by the chemical companies, so they control kind of the narrative. They control the content that's being put out there. I could show you a textbook that I have from the university, and you look at the way they teach the classes. First, they teach you about plant physiology instead of soil. Like why would you? Soil's the beginning.
It's true. In college, I took plant
Why
physiology.
Yeah, why separate it?
I had that class, but we never really learned about soil. Soil was like a chapter. You got a
Most of the
chapter,
stem.
maybe.
And then you go to the 4-H programs, and then instead of teaching you how to grow the food for the animals you're raising, no, it's just buy it from the group leaders, buy grain, buy antibiotics, buy chemicals, and pump your animals full of that. And the kids don't even understand how to produce the food.
It's been hijacked.
Feed the
But
animals.
the positive stuff is that there seems to be awakening and a revolution, not just in Yuma. I mean, Yuma's catching up, but all over the United States and actually all over the world. I just came back from Mexico City. There's a lot of progressive thinking over there too, as far as self-sustainable, working with the environment, not against it, not relying on chemicals and relying on what's natural to us. There is an awakening.
Absolutely.
And I think people like you are helping champion that. So to end it on like a positive note, and by the way, stay tuned for like the full length one with Dr. Joe on Dr. Joe Show.
We're going to have some fun.
We'll have a link
Awesome.
underneath
Looking
as
forward to
well.
it.
You got to subscribe to Dr. Joe Show. What is like the message you want to leave to Yuma? Because this is just like our channel's unique. It's just for Yuma. It doesn't really go anywhere outside of Yuma.
The message, I guess, is the body needs nourishment, right? And that body, if it ain't nourished, it's going to eventually end up in a state of disease. And there's no chemical, that's going to fix that issue. So for us, we're trying to go from a state of manufacturing food, because if you take a man-made ingredient and you grow and you produce something that's manufacturing, and get back to farming, where we take what nature gives us and produce food.
We're almost getting rid of the Industrial Revolution and what it brought. It basically brought cheap food.
Yep, that's what it
And
did.
with cheap food, people are like, okay, there's no more people being hungry. But now I got people with all kind of diseases. And
Cheap health, cheap life.
Cheap food means cheap health, right?
Yeah.
The cliches exist for a reason, right? You are what you eat. I mean, there's a reason
Yeah.
why people have said that for a long time.
There's a reason why the kind of studies we keep getting don't change. It's like it's not just obesity. It's obesity with cardiovascular disease, obesity with chronic kidney disease. That kind of stuff's just continuing. So I think the paradigm needs to shift. And thank you for doing what you do. And, we jumped at the chance to come here and promote you again, this time professionally done. And pretty soon on Dr. Joe Show. So just the beginning of hopefully a long collaboration.
Look forward to it. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Thank you, Lana. For those that want to learn more about the Desert Mirage Farm, link underneath. And if you want to learn more about some of the studies we offer where you get paid to participate, Lana's phone number. Remember it again?
760-919-2515.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.